Big breaking Bruins news today. Let's go to the guy who broke the news first. It is our very own Ty Anderson of 98.5 The Sports Hub and 98.5thesportshub.com. He joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Ty, what's going on?
Mark, everyone, what's going on?
What a day. What a big day. What was your initial reaction to the number? 890, 11.25 a year. What do you think of that?
I think it's a steal. I think it's a steal. Given what he's done, given what it was looking like this year. You know, we talked in the summer, and I said 9.5 would be great, and then he started playing games, and I went, oh, this is going to be a big, big number because he was just playing so well. And so to get him under 11.5, I think is a win. To get him under 12 is a win. It just seemed like it was pointing towards that high of a number. So to get him at 11.25, I think is a huge win for the Bruins. It doesn't sort of put them in a weird spot where they can no longer afford to make additions to their team. They can still add. They're going to have to get creative, but this isn't, a $13.5 million contract. It's much more manageable.
You go back to, I think it was December when the first rumors of potential extension was going to happen. Why did it take this long to get to this point, Ty? Because it seems like the money kept going up and up and up, as you said.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think a big reason why is kind of what you saw today. The Bruins were trying to offload money. And with the NHL cap, the way it's set up is that if you can't pay out all your bonuses that are due at the end of the year, it comes off next ceiling's cap. So what they were doing for months now is really trying to move Mike Riley, trying to move Craig Smith, trying to create cap room for their end-of-year number. I think they sort of realized this isn't going to happen. We just need to figure this out. So I think once they had a rough idea of what their deadline plans were going to be, I think they're done after today's move for Tyler Bertuzzi. I think that allowed them to say, okay, we are now playing with, $21 million and change for next year. Let's officially get Pastrnak on the books. But this is also, Scott, this is a hard contract to hammer down. Like, you're talking bonus money, so when you do that with the signing bonus money, big payouts every July 1. So, it's just a hard contract to hammer down. And with the way he's playing, I wonder if there was an element of his agent saying, let's just keep going here because you might be able to get this amount of money. But at the end of the day, they found a deal that works for both sides.
We're talking with Ty Anderson. Ty, when he agreed to a $90 million deal, I think we all agree, did leave money on the table, could have made more in free agency. What's his motivation to remain a Bruin? Is it all about this year's success? Is it all about the fact that it's the only place he knows? What do you think it is?
So I really think that he loves being a member of this core. The Bruins have identified him as a building block of both the present and the future. When they talk about the future, they openly acknowledge that McAvoy and Pastrnak are their 1 and 2, similar to how, Bergeron and Krejci, Bergeron and Chara, they view McAvoy and Pastrnak as their foundational pieces. And I think there's something to be said for, being a foundational piece in a city like Boston on a team like the Bruins. And when I've talked to him, he's never said the Bruins need to get me a high-end center. He's basically always told me, no, we're gonna be a playoff team. That's what he said every time. He goes, I'm not worried about what the roster looks like because I know we're going to be a playoff team. So I think that, the comfort, the fact that he's a foundational piece and, the grass isn't always greener, right? So I think those are all factors why he wants to be here. And also the Bruins knew they couldn't lose him.
Yeah, he was going to get paid regardless of whether or not, guys came back or were contemplating retirement. But the fact it's Bergeron, the fact it's Krejci, and we talked about this with Joe Murray earlier, how much impact did these guys have to getting this deal done? Because this guy would have got paid anywhere he went.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that, you talk to everyone in that room, and a big word you hear a lot with the Bruins is sacrifice. Guys sacrifice in terms of money on the table, playing role. Are they on the PK or on the power play? That's one thing that has been a consistent sort of theme with this team is that they all acknowledge that everyone on this roster has made a sacrifice to put the best team on the ice humanly possible. And for Pastrnak, that's money. That's being on the second line. That's taking less than $12.5 million a year. And, I thought Marchand had a great quote about this when they were in Toronto last month. He asked about the Bruins' success and what's allowed them to be so good. And he's mentioned that, guys have taken less to stay with the Bruins. And while 11.25 is the richest contract in team history, as we've said, he definitely took less to make this happen. So I think that's the rubbing off of a Bergeron, of a Marchand, to want to be here and want to be part of what they're doing.
I know you mentioned this in passing, Ty, but the Bruins again aggressive this morning in another deal, giving up another first-round pick to get Tyler Bertuzzi. Obviously, there are some injuries on the team that may have led them down this road, whether it be Hall or Foligno. But now looking forward, how do you see this player fitting in once he gets here?
Yeah, this is a guy who's going to bring some snarl. He's going to bring some net front aggression. He had a career-high 32 goals and 62 points last year for Detroit, almost a point-per-game player for them a year ago. This year, it's really been some rotten luck, both on the ice and health-wise. He's had two separate absences of taking a shot off the hand and breaking his hand, one on each hand. So he's had a bad luck year, but this is a player who you look at and say, this is a playoff-type performer in terms of how he scores his goals, where he gets along the boards, in front of the net, things of that nature. So I think he slides into your third line right now. I'm expecting a sour update on either Taylor Hall or Nick Foligno. They are going to go on long-term IR. It's just a matter of are they back for the playoffs or not. That's how they were able to make this deal happen without moving money out, was by putting one of these guys or maybe both on LTIR.
Ty Anderson, 98.5thesportshub.com. He's had a busy morning. Ty, appreciate you making the time for us.
Anytime, guys. And we'll have plenty of stuff today on the website. Morning is just getting started.
All right, way to be on it, man.
Very
Thanks,
good,
Ty.
Ty. Thanks.